I am 17 years old and I'm sure everyone knows that I am a graduate of Queens College. And yes, I am almost 18. June 4th, I will be 18 years old, and I am also a cancer survivor. And I love music, I love working with people, I love to have fun, I love to laugh, I love sports, even though I'm not too good at sports, but I love sports. And I just love to have fun and be there. Yes, so about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it was a shocker for me because I was not just diagnosed, but I was diagnosed at such an advanced stage. And even though I knew the type of faith that I had and I knew the strength that I had, I was so afraid and not sure what the outcome would be. But I was determined to get it done. Whatever it was I had to get done, I was determined to get it done and go through this process so that I can be well and so that I can overcome this disease. And it's really been a really long journey, and it started with me whilst I was in school, and at this time I would have been in grade 11. And I can say it was not too difficult in school because Queens College, they really did work with me and they really did accompany me, and they really did, like, they extended so many things for me so that I would be able to actually complete my work and be there in school and actually help me meet all the requirements for my graduation. And grade 12 came along, and after I defeated Kansas the first time, and it came back in December of 2018. It came back in December, and when this came back, I did not know what happened then. I remember sitting on my bed and just thinking, like, what can happen to me now? What's gonna happen? What's going on? How are we gonna fight it this time? What will I have to do? How will it affect me in school? How will it affect my church life, my career? What will it do? How will it do all of these things to me? And we traveled to Miami and Nicholas Children's Hospital, and the team of doctors there, they already had a plan before we even got in the meeting. So when we got there, it was just them telling us what we were going to do and explaining everything to me. And they worked so well with me. It wasn't like it was something that they were forcing me to do. It wasn't something mandatory. It's when I'm available to come over and when do I feel like I'm ready to start all of my treatments and all of these different stuff that I would be undergoing. And I have went through a number of procedures and surgeries in preparation for a bone marrow transplant that I would have. And I can honestly say that it was something totally different to experience because I never thought I would experience this type of pain or this just a different feeling on the whole with doing all of these procedures leading up to the bone marrow transplant. And finally, as I went through the year, I was still doing my chemotherapy. I did everything in preparations, and December was when I went over to begin the process of the bone marrow transplant. And in order for this, I would have to have a heavy dose of strong chemo. And the chemo was so strong that it would cause me lose my hair, it would change the color on my nails, it would bring all of my counts so low, and it was like I was in isolation. And the type of bone marrow transplant that I had, I did not need a donor. So they actually collected my own cells and they froze them and then they gave them back to me. And there was a time during the transplant where I was at my complete lowest, and it was basically a near death experience for me. I was out for about 2 days, just out. I was not responding to anyone. I was not responding to anything. And I was out to them. But for me, I was so aware of what was going on around me. It was like, I can't do anything. I can't move. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. At first, it felt like I was just in a deep sleep. But then when I was actually aware, I could hear everybody, but I can't talk. I can't move. it was basically just me freaking out, and just going crazy on the inside. And I, I cannot imagine what it would have been if I had to endure something like that even longer. But thanks to God, I and the team of doctors that worked with me, they were able to get me up and get me back on my feet again. And being in the hospital, I had nights where I would cry myself to sleep because I just wanted to go home. I was over there for about 3 months, and I really just wanted to be home. I did not want to be over there any longer because it was not far from home, but for me, it was like I was missing everything that was going on. I wanted to sing. I wanted to get out there and do what I loved. I wanted to rush. I wanted to do the sports. It was so many things that I wanted to do, but I could not do because I was on such a serious restriction with the bone marrow transplant. And I stayed over in the hospital's apartments, and I was there until January. No, actually, I was there until February, and I came home earlier than expected. I was supposed to be there for 90 days, but I came home at 44 days, and it was because I just did so well with recovery, and the process of recovery was really good. And what also benefited to that was me getting my own cells. So it wasn't like I had to be taking so many medications and so many complications because I did the transplant, I got my cells, and it would have been easier for my cells to be in my body and regenerate and build back up. So I was able to come home earlier, but I still had a few restrictions. My favorite restriction was the one where I didn't really have to go out too much and do too much work. And I think my least favorite was the restriction of me just having to eat cooked food. I could not eat fast food, no junk food, none of that stuff. It was just straight cooked meals, and it had to be a balanced meal. And anyone who knows me knows I hate vegetables, and I had to make it such a habit just to eat vegetables with every meal. But thanks to my mom, she did a really good job. I really recommend anything with cooking. I recommend my mother because she did an extremely good job ensuring that everything that I ate was really good, and like it meant that it was good enough for me to eat it and enjoy it and not get tired of it and not want to eat it. So the journey was a long one. It was really long. It had its ups and downs. It had its benefits, and then it had times where I just felt like giving up. I didn't want to go through it anymore. And there were times where the journey even caused me to be inspired, and it pushed me to inspire others and show others that I know that there's so many people, young people especially, going through things like this. It doesn't have to be cancer. It can be anything, sickle cell, depression, anything like that. And I know that there's so many people that are going through something like this. And this journey and me being so strong, it showed me that I can be a light for everybody else, to show them that, hey, you're not going through this alone. And it's not as hard as you think it is. Once you keep your mind focused on God and you stay strong, He will be strong with you. And your strength and God's strength is something that cannot be touched. And it just pushed me and helped me to be the person that I am today. So there was a song that actually came out in December. I think it was in December. And the song's name is For My Good. It was sung by Todd Galbraith. And the verse for the song says, "It was meant to kill me, sent to destroy me. And I thought that it would, and I thought that it should. 'Cause I messed up so many times. I will laugh when you say it right. I'll understand if you wanna let me go." And then he went on to say, "But you held on to me, and you wouldn't let me go, and you wouldn't let me go." Then the chorus says, "What the enemy meant for evil, God has worked it out for my good." And that song just carried me through. And now I know that everything that the devil meant to kill me and harm me, it only made me better. I was so excited. I was very surprised because I had just came back home and my mom was trying to get me to meet up with you guys, and I gave her so much trouble. I'm like, Mom, I'm really not going to the mall. I don't feel like going to the mall. I'm not going anywhere. I want to go home. And she was so persistent, and it's like she was fighting with me, Carrington. We have to go to the mall. I have to pick this up. And I'm like, can't you just drive? Why do I have to go with you? You know, I don't want to be there. And when we got there, she's out of the car. She went, and I'm just sitting in the car, assuming that she's picking up something. And she tells me to pull around. And I kind of heard voices in the background, and I recognized a few voices. But I'm like, okay, well, she probably just saw them there or something. And when I pulled up and I saw the balloon and everybody else standing around, I was like, you guys really got me. You really got me, because I did not want to be there, and I was so excited and I was so shocked to see that not only that you guys gave me the award, but that it was something totally different from my understanding that you guys actually created. And it was inspiring for me because I know that there are actually people out there who see what young people are going through and who sees that it's a fight and it's a battle and it's a long road and it's something that we're going through that we don't want to face alone, and that they are actually there to help us get through it, and that they recognize the strength and the time and everything we put inside fighting whatever it is. And I just love to see that there's people that actually care about us, and it was amazing to find out that I was the nominee for that award. I would say to you, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what the problem is, how big, how small, fight. Never give up, because everybody has a purpose. Your purpose may be singing, ministering to people. Your purpose may be dancing, poetic word, preaching, anything. No matter what it is, you must never give up when you're going through battles. And you must never be afraid to turn to people to help you. And you must never be afraid to express how you really feel to people, because sometimes you may just need that one person and their shoulder just to lean on and cry on, and you need that one person just to give you that hug and that person just to comfort you in your time of need. But most importantly, you have to stay strong. You have to keep your faith in God and know that no matter what it is, you will get through it. You make me happy, and you make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. The one I've waited for, my love's design. The one he kept for me until it was time. I need some food. I need some food right now.